What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to episode 44 of Hit the Books. Per usual, we're here to talk sports, sports news, sports gambling, you name it in sports, and we at Hit the Books want to deliver it to you. This week, we got a great slate for yins. Some normal summertime news out of the NHL and NBA, and the NFL. Our bread and butter this week is so close, I can almost taste it. All 32 teams reporting for training camp. But enough from me. Let's jump and introduce my co-host. Huff, you're up first this week. My friend, how's the week been? Back another week. What do you got?
What's going on, everybody? Happy to be back. Episode 44. We are officially, Mackie, what did we decide? 6 episodes away from NFL football?
Yeah, I think we're going to roll with 6 here.
Yeah, I think we're 6 episodes away from the NFL regular season. Rams, Bills, that Thursday night game. Can't wait. And just looking ahead at that. That's been marked on the calendar for a couple months now, but counting down the days. Jesse, I think you said 43 days. So still, but this week we have a lot to get into, a lot of NFL news as we get closer to the NFL season. 32 teams reporting to camp. Football is officially back. Mackie, how you been, buddy?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm getting real sick of this baseball. Only thing we got on. I wake up every morning and check off my calendar, another day until football. But, I'm all right. A lot to talk about. A lot of NFL, a lot of trades and things to talk about in the NFL and things going on in all 4 major sports.
My favorite meme is the one where it's like guys will say, "Oh, I can't wait for football," and then it's the picture of like a Bears drive result chart from like a certain game, and it's like 0 for 3 punt, 0
Punt,
for 4
punt,
punt,
punt.
punt. Yeah, you know the picture I'm talking about. It's just punt, 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 interception. But yeah, honestly, it's true. I can't wait for football. I don't give a shit if it's that bad or not. But that first game is gonna be fucking crazy. They knew what they were doing with that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, Jesse, what's been going on with you?
Not too bad for things on my end. I'm excited for this episode this week. A lot of good stuff to look forward to. Let's jump right in. Let's start with the NBA. First up, former San Antonio Spur guard DeJounte Murray, now of the Atlanta Hawks, responded to followers on Instagram this week saying, "The way that systems set you..."
Yeah, you gotta read it with his language in it.
Oh God! All right.
I quoted him word for word.
Yeah. No.
It's gonna be a lot funnier hearing you read this, so I want you to read it.
That way. Sorry.
Nope.
I'm not cutting any of this out, by the way.
Please don't.
The way that system's set up, you gone be losing for the next 15 years. Problem bigger than basketball.
He said it exactly how Jesse said it.
All right. When talking about the current state of the Spurs franchise. Interesting. All right. What do you guys got on that one?
I didn't think I was gonna get that good of a laugh out of this, but Mackie, what do you think about this? I think he's a pretty good player. Obviously, he was there. How many years is he a Spur? Like 3-4 years? 3?
I don't
3 sounds
understand.
right.
What are you even saying?
Yeah, like if he doesn't like Pop, just don't be the guy to come out and say you don't like Pop because everyone else is cool with him and they say he's the best NBA coach ever. So kind of like Belichick. No one ever comes out and like says they hate Belichick and like look at what AB did. Comes out and says he hates Belichick and he's not in the league anymore.
Yeah, but he's at the Hawks now. Why would he be? I don't get it.
Yeah, he's still like they were saying something like these fans were kind of commenting at him. They were saying like, "Oh, we thought his name Keldon Johnson or another guy on the Spurs."
Yeah.
We were hoping you, Keldon Johnson, and who's the young big man they got? Podol.
Yeah, Podol.
Yeah, they were just throwing like a couple names around. They were like, we were hoping we could land one big name and have you 3 here and make a playoff run, but you went to Atlanta or something like that. Like this kind of like you know what I mean, like backhanded like compliment, like hey, thanks. I wish you could still be here, but fuck you. You went to Atlanta. And DeJounte Murray responded with that and was like, dude, it's a problem bigger than basketball. It's like, you're in Atlanta now, dude. Like, just be like, don't even answer. Like, I don't understand when guys answer in like certain situations. Like I understand when like, I don't know, certain guys are sensitive, like KD and like the shit that he tweets back at people is so funny. But like, I don't know. I don't really look too much into this. The Spurs are the Spurs, and they've kind of set the standard.
Could you imagine like LeBron tweeting back at someone like that?
Yeah.
Like never.
Even like Trae Young, like no.
It just like shows immaturity. Honestly, like you're a superstar. You're gonna have haters. People are gonna talk. Like deal with it.
He's going to Atlanta. Like it's
Like, think about who that person is on that who's tweeting at him and he's responding, or responding
Exactly.
to Instagram comments. Like, are you kidding me?
Exactly.
yeah. I'd just be like, but I don't know. I didn't think I was going to get that good of a laugh out of him.
That's funny.
All good stuff. All good stuff. All right, next up, the Philadelphia 76ers and guard James Harden have come to an agreement on a new 2-year deal worth $34 million a year. Harden declined a $47 million player option to work out the new deal with the Sixers. A portion of that money was used to sign guard Daniel House.
Yeah, so Harden declining that 47 and whatever $500,000 deal to basically $50 million a year. Take a little bit of a pay cut, team friendly. I guess you'd call it team friendly, $33 million a year. But like, these guys act like they're fucking heroes for the team. It's like, hey, I'm taking a pay cut. It's like, dude, you make $33 million a year. What kind of pay cut is that? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
oh no, don't worry.
For real.
You took a pay cut. We got Daniel House coming off the bench now. This is sick. Like we're gonna get past the second round now. Like hopefully Embiid has another MVP year and we might have a chance. Like I don't know. I'm not big on this Sixers team. I think Embiid is Embiid, and obviously he's an MVP contender in and year out for the past couple of years. Arguably could have been the MVP last year, but I don't know. I think Philly still needs another move other than Daniel House to really.
Yeah. Like you go. Like who are you gonna bring in at this point?
Like honestly, that's a $15 million pay cut. Like, where's that money going?
Sixers are one of the best teams in the league, but they will never be championship contenders in my eyes.
I'll never look at them and say they're coming out of the East.
Yeah, exactly.
There's always going to be a team that I'm like, they'll beat the Sixers. Even like, I'd pick. I don't know. I'd be getting like, obviously it's the middle of summer right now, so I don't really want to do that. But I don't know. Embiid's Embiid. If Embiid's on his game, like we've seen NBA players carry a team through a series, but it's different. I feel like it's different when it's a center. I mean, he can dominate down in the paint and do his thing down low and go for 37 and 20 rebounds, but you need your guys out in the perimeter hitting shots. You need James Harden to show up in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah,
Not
definitely.
needs to stay out of the strip club more and focus more on the maybe getting a ring.
Yeah, James Harden has to be a bigger role in that team for them to be competitive
It's just
down the
like
stretch.
I mean, for how much playoff experience he has, like he's one of the top 5 or he's like the top 3 or something playoff scorers that doesn't have a ring. It's the list is like Chris Paul, him, Westbrook, Charles Barkley, and I forget who the last one was. That was like the top 4.
Yeah, well, it's not surprising. He's always getting like there. He's just not. Actually, he's never even been to a
Never been. He's been to a finals with the Thunder,
2000. Yeah, with the Thunder.
but I mean, it wasn't his team.
Yeah,
That
he
was
was
the guy.
He was a 6-man then.
He's led by the guy that we're about to get into. Jesse, why don't you read this?
Yes, let's jump into that. The Boston Celtics are now in conversation to acquire Kevin Durant. The Celtics reportedly offered the Nets Jaylen Brown, Derek White, and a draft pick. That trade declined. Brooklyn is reporting asking for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Derek White, and multiple draft picks for coming years for KD.
Becky, you start on this.
I don't know. I don't like that trade by Boston. I don't understand giving up Jaylen Brown for KD and Tatum to go play together. I mean, they're not saying they're the same player because they're definitely different players, but they both do the same thing. You're taking two players that play basically the exact same style of basketball. And I think that was what was so good with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is that they were both kind of polar opposites on the court. They didn't really play the game the same way.
Yeah.
And now you're getting rid of that duo. Obviously, KD's a all-time talent, but
Still a top 5
I don't know.
player in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're making a good trade when you look at it. Like, Jason Tatum, Derek White for Kevin Durant and whatever picks they had. But I think in this system, I don't really like KD in that system without Jason Tatum or without Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. So you could look at this from like obviously there's two ways to look at this. Obviously, if you're Kevin Durant, you're or the fan perspective, the Kevin Durant, the kind of backlash that he's going to receive if I know he would get traded there, but does he have like a lot of say in this? Does he have a no trade clause, anything like?
I don't know, but he does not. The last thing he cares about is what people say about him.
I know it's just like, could you imagine him going to another team? Obviously, when he went to the Warriors, the 73-9, lost in the finals. Not saying the Celtics are anything compared to that team, but now he would go to two teams the year after they lose in the finals. The Celtics would you like the Celtics to win next year? Does that addition make the Celtics that much better after losing in the finals? Obviously, losing, say the trade goes through that Brooklyn wants and they get Smart, Brown, Derek White, and a bunch of picks. Obviously, the picks won't matter next year.
No, I think you tear that team apart. I think the reason that team was so good is because the chemistry that all those players had together. That team. Oh, like take those players and put them on like all separate teams, and two of them are good. Marcus Smart isn't even that good in a different game plan. I think.
I think that's why Boston would rather, obviously coming off a defensive player of the year, a guy like Smart, you could move him right now. His price is high, stock is high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that should be a guy that the Celtics are actually looking to move, whether it lands Kevin Durant or not. I know the Nets want. I'm blanking. Jaylen Brown. I know that's a guy that the big name on the block that they want in the trade, but them wanting Smart and Brown, they're just kind of like asking. They're like, all right, we'll take your team, just you keep Tatum. And another thing that I didn't even write down, speaking of the Nets, Kyrie coming out and saying that whether KD's there or not, he's staying in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I don't know. What's Kyrie gonna do by himself there though? Like I don't know. Imagine him and Jaylen Brown there. What do you think
That's what
they'd
I
do?
mean. They've played together. We've seen it for 15 games, however many games. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I forgot Kyrie was in Boston.
Yeah, like we've seen it. Kyrie was sick in Boston how many years ago, but for the very, very, very limited time that we saw him play there. But I don't know. I just feel like if you're Brooklyn, this trade reminds me so much. I don't know why, but like when Brooklyn landed Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce off of the Celtics, like what was that, like 10 years ago now? They gave them
It was like 2011,
they
I
gave
think.
them all those players and all those picks. This year it would be kind of reversed. That's what I mean. Like they'd be landing all the picks. Like I don't know what to think about this. Anytime like a big player like this is traded in the NBA, I'm like it's so hard to tell who's gonna win because like if the Celtics land Kevin Durant and you lose in the finals last year, your expectation next year is finals or bust.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's ring or bust.
It's ring or bust, not finals bust. You just lost in the finals.
That's what I meant. Like win the finals. Win the finals when I said finals or bust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just had to clarify so you knew what I meant. But like you add a player like Kevin Durant, there's no way you go from all right, we have a young team that's kind of overachieving. Like no one picked the Celtics to get to the finals last year.
I mean, they're favorites already next year.
I know. Well, yeah. Now, as we say this with like landing him, the odds are already shifting. I saw a couple sports books drop him from like 650 to 550 to 450. Like
Yeah, I saw that.
it's been moving with the Celtics the past couple weeks. I'm glad because the one team I want to buy in on a future is Clippers, just because the moves that they've made and Kawhi Leonard shows up every other year and goes to the finals and it's like worth a shot.
Dude, Clippers are really good. If
That's what I
they're
mean,
healthy, they're
dude.
sick. Kawhi Leonard is, I think, he's the most underrated player in the league.
That's what I mean, dude. Should we put a future on the Clippers?
I don't know.
They're only like
The
plus
league is
700.
so tough right now. Like,
He should be so fucking rested. He should be able to play all 82 games, but you know he's not going to. You'd be like I said a couple weeks ago. You're lucky to get 50 games out of Kawhi Leonard.
you're gonna get like 53, 54 probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a team I'm on next year. But if KD lands in Boston, that changes a lot of things up in the East for me. I think because, like I said, I think the Celtics actually downgrade getting him, and that's kills me to say that when you land a player like Kevin Durant, but like you said, the chemistry that they had last year throughout the playoffs just was something that I think they could run it right back. But like, it also kind of reminds me of like he didn't have the true guy to go to.
Yeah, and KD would be that guy, but you're giving up that entire team to get him. So like,
I think they're banking on like guys like Robert Williams a step up. Obviously, a full year with him. He was banged up at times last year. There's another guy that would still be there. I'm like blanking on their roster right now. I don't know why.
Grant Williams,
Grant Williams. They're expecting him to become like an even more
Daniel Tice.
yeah. Like I think they're looking like Williams, the two Williams guys, Grant and Robert Williams. Like looking at them to step up, slide in starting roles. You go, who'd be the point guard?
I don't know.
If they lost
They'd have
Smart,
to.
Brown.
They'd have to get somebody else.
Yeah, they'd have to land. They'd have to sign someone. Rondo, bring back a guy like Rondo.
Yeah, no way.
No way. But so we'll have to see what happens with this. Obviously, NBA a couple months away from that, but anytime a guy like Kevin Durant's looking to get moved, you're going to be talking about. It's going to make headlines. So we'll definitely be covering this as this goes kind of throughout the process. We've now talked about the Suns, the Heat. People were talking about the Thunder for a week or two. Now we're obviously moving on to the Celtics as the favorite to land him. So
Yeah, definitely gonna be interesting to see where he goes.
Heck yeah, lots of great stuff out of the NBA. Couple months away, like you said, Huff, but look forward to lots more news from us and coverage from us. With that, let's jump into the NHL. Got a quick little slate here. Lots of good stuff, though. The Pittsburgh Penguins have re-signed forward Kasperi Kapanen to a 2-year deal worth $3.2 million a year. I think a pretty good signing there for the Pens to keep him around. Some people love him, some people hate him, but I think he has potential.
yeah, he's got to pick his shit up. But it's time to obviously it's kind of you get a deal like this, and a lot of people were talking about him moving on and kind of change of scenery would help him out in his career. But obviously the Penguins getting him back on that deal. They need him to come back. I think part of Malkin coming back here was saying that, your line's going to return, and obviously Kapanen playing with Malkin most of last year. I think that was kind of in the writing when Malkin re-signed, but it was just a matter of time. But it's time for him to step the fuck up.
Yeah, I know you guys were had mixed feelings about this guy all last year, at least Penguin fans in general. So
Just
I don't
he's
know.
so
Do you like this?
inconsistent. He's so inconsistent. Like he has the potential to be like pretty sick. Like honestly, I think
Yeah,
he
definitely,
has the
definitely.
potential to be a 25, 30 goal scorer, especially playing on a line with a guy like Malkin. Like I know Malkin's not Crosby and like not a pass first player, but dude, Malkin gets on a good year. I mean, you look back to his fucking MVP year, he had like 70 assists, but like he's not a shitty passer. You know what I mean? He's not a Ovechkin. Like he's not shooting the puck every time he gets it on his stick. Like you play on a line with a guy like that, you're gonna get your chances. And he just last year was hitting posts left and right, and then went to a game and he had a fucking hat trick. Like I think he had like 10 goals on the year, 2 games with a hat trick. So like that shows you the inconsistency. He'd go for three, and then just sprinkle in like a goal here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just need
Not
consistency.
even a goal here and there, though. Like he I feel like he was so like not didn't even feel like he was there some of the games.
Yeah. And for how like big he is, you need to. I know he's like trying to play that sniper style role, and like you don't want a guy that changes play style, but I like to see him a little more physical if you're not going to be putting the puck in the net 30 times a year.
And it's not like he's not quick either.
Yeah, he can move. Like I don't know. It's time to step the fuck up, especially getting this deal. Come on, like this got to motivate you. Or like it's time. Come on.
If this doesn't, I don't know it will. But next up, we got the Blue Jackets signing Patrick Laine to a 4-year, my phone's cracked, $8.7 million a year deal. Not too shabby there for the Blue Jackets. They're making some moves. What do you got, Mackie?
you just saw that coming with Gaudreau. I mean, they'll be good together. I'm sure he's pretty excited to have him come into town.
When Gaudreau was on Chicklets the week after signing the deal with the Blue Jackets, and they were talking about if you talked to Line yet, and I think he said he hadn't reached out to him, but obviously he was pretty excited to get the chance to play with him. So I think that, like I said, similar to the Malkin and Kapanen thing, I think it was kind of a given that when the one guy signs, the other guy's contract is coming. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, Columbus, nice little young team coming up. Guys like Werenski. I don't really know what they have going on in net. Is it still Corpusalo?
Um, I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, like that team's a couple years away, but obviously you link Gaudreau to what, an 8 or 9 year deal, and then now you get Line A for 4 more years. So maybe by the end of the Line A's term, you could be, I hate to say contenders because it's Columbus, but win another playoff series.
I think that's a great goal.
I don't know if I don't, dude. That like division right now is so good.
That's what I mean. Like,
I don't think.
I don't
I
know
don't
why he
think
went
that.
there. So that's why I'm saying like the
I don't
goal
even
is.
think they make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. And their goal is in the next 4 years to win a playoff series. Like that's not. Giroux's goal last year with the Flames was to win the fucking cup. What a downgrade.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the logic there. I understand though. Kate. Well, no, I understand leaving Calgary. I don't understand going to Columbus.
Yeah,
But
me too.
I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't go to the East Coast.
I don't know. I think Columbus is they're a couple years away from. I really don't know much about their roster, but other than guys like Line, Werenski, and now obviously Gaudreau.
Yeah, and speaking of leaving the Flames, the Calgary Flames have traded forward Matthew Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers in exchange for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwind. Is it just Schwind?
Yeah, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know. Schwind.
Maybe. Cole Schwind. And a first-round pick. Upon being traded to Florida, Tkachuk signed an 8-year deal with the Panthers worth $9.5 million a year.
So I wrote down this headline. That's actually false. So Kachuk signed technically an 8 year deal, $9.5 million year, or he signed that contract with the Flames. It was a sign and trade. That doesn't happen often in the NHL. So, whenever I wrote this down, I didn't really kind of just assume he signed the deal with the Panthers upon being traded, but actually signed the deal with Calgary, and then obviously with the writing in there that he's going to get traded. To sign and trade ends up in Florida. Obviously, Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Schwint, and a first round pick going back to Calgary. This is the first time two 100-point players have been traded since I believe Wayne Gretzky, and I forget the other guy's name. So that just shows you the last time two big names have been traded like this for scoring over 100 points the previous year. Guys like Kachuk and Huberdeau. So Mackie, I'm interested to see who you think necessarily won this trade. I know we got into it a little bit texting about it, but I just kind of wanted to break down that fact about the sign and trade and the 200-point players getting exchanged for one another.
Yeah, that's the thing here is that everyone looks at it like, oh my God, Kachuk's going to Florida. Calgary's got a guy who had 90 assists last year. I mean, Huberdeau's he's not a bum. I mean, that guy could play hockey. You're getting a guy to go up there. I think he'll be great in Calgary. I honestly think Calgary might have won this trade. I think Calgary was more forced to make the trade because Kachuk's the one that wanted it out. So Calgary had to settle for something that Florida had to get rid of.
Florida gave him a fucking gift wrap present with a tag on it that said, "Here you go. Here's our here's everything we've worked for in the past couple of years." The Florida Panthers in the past, I completely agree that the Flames won this trade. I mean, you look at Huberdeau going back, like you said, Kachuk lands in Florida. Yeah, everyone's like all rah that Kachuk's, in whatever, Fort Lauderdale, wherever the fuck the Panthers play. But like you said, Huberdeau's going back to the Flames. I know they lost Gaudreau and Kachuk, but Huberdeau's going there. You look at a guy like Mackenzie Weegar they got on the defensive side. He held up the Florida Panthers, defensive core that entire time that Ekblad was out. Stepped up. I think he was no joke on the stat sheet last year. I didn't really look into too many of his points, but I remember seeing him a lot on the power play. He was a hell of a player last year for them. He's going to go up there and eat a lot of minutes in Calgary, and then I don't know too much about this Cole Schwint guy, but in the past like year and a half, or I forget how many months, but dude, the Panthers have traded so many draft picks for players that are now not there anymore because like Giroux, Sherratt, and now Kachuk. And none of the players are there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
The team spent all these past couple of years building up this team, and obviously last year there's people saying this team's going to win the cup if they can get past Tampa Bay. They're going to win the cup. You know what happened against Tampa Bay? It looked like I didn't think this is what they needed to do. Like I didn't think they were this far off. They didn't need to trade Huberto, Uyghur, you know what I mean, and land Kachuk. Like I didn't think that was the move they needed to do. I think they needed another guy. I didn't think it was move, like you said, a 90 assist center that's been with your team for the past 7 years. He's been there for a while.
Yeah, he's been with that team.
I was
I think
very
the thing was
surprised.
there is that they just won the President's Trophy, dude. Like they were the best team in the league, and they still ended up. They got swept, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, 4-0.
They did. We took
Yeah.
Tampa every game of that series.
So they were the best team in the league, and they got swept. So I think they realized they need that. They need to make that blockbuster trade to get that guy and see if that'll work. So you know they got that guy right now. So they had the best team possible last year.
When I texted you
And
guys initially,
they get
remember
swept.
when you texted me, or I sent you guys like the picture of the score thing, like the score headline, and I was like, Kachuk to Florida. And then you texted me back and was like, for Huberto. And I just read it and didn't even answer. I was just like, yeah, I don't know what that means, but okay. Didn't even connect it. And then I'm like, read another tweet. I'm like, we're talking like the Flame. Why did Florida give up so much? Why did Florida give up so much? And then I started seeing like, obviously all the Matthew Kachuk's a Florida Panther, that whole thing, welcome to Florida, that whole stuff. But I did see a couple people kind of pointing out like, Huberto to the Flames, like when you would see the official trade from some of these insiders, and I was like, wait, they got what for Matthew Kachuk? Like I know he's young, and I know Florida's getting him for 8 years or 9 years. What's the contract? 8 years?
8-year, $9.5 million.
Yeah, like I don't know his exact age, but I don't know. I like you said, Florida could be looking to make that move to get them over the hump. Obviously, the last season's playoff series ending with back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, but
Not being able to score, honestly.
yeah, it was the power play. It came down to their power play going completely fucking dry in the playoffs.
Florida just doesn't have that guy. They don't have that guy. They don't have
Is
a Zibanejad
is Kachuk
or
that guy?
you got to give him the chance to be.
He's gonna get his chance.
See, the thing about Tampa is that they have like 4 of those guys.
Yeah, Kucherov, Point, Stamkos.
Kucherov, Point. Yeah, dude, it's freaking ridiculous.
You could send that power play out. They need a goal. That's the line that's coming out. Them three. You put Hedman and
Chances
Sergachev
are
on the
they're going
point.
to get a team's lethal.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, they're gonna be around for a couple years. I know they just lost a lot, but I think Tampa's legit still.
They'll be contenders for the next 5 years at least.
Yeah.
As long as Vasilevsky's still going.
I was gonna say maybe when Stamkos and Hedman kind of start to age off, it'll be interesting. But like you said, the next 3 to 5 years, I think they're around for sure. Unless you want to rip into these last two things, and then we can get into some NFL talk.
Let's do it. Yes, sir. The Nashville Predators signed Nino Niederreiter to a 2-year deal. Kind of like that.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about that.
Young guy.
Where do you go? I wasn't even really paying attention. Nashville. I mean, Nashville just keeps adding like guys like this. I mean, we weren't far off again. Like I said, last year Colorado, but Nashville's a team that people are going to be watching next year. I think good things coming out of Nashville. Like I said, not too much from necessarily this guy, but to get back to Nashville, they keep adding kind of role players, which is never a bad thing in the NHL, and it's proven to be good. So, just need Soros. That dude's a stud. He could be literally, Shesterkin and Vasilevsky, but he's going to be up there for the Vezina, whether he wins it or not. But he's going to be up there for the next couple of years as well.
In the conversation.
Yes, sir. In the oh god, hold on. Okay. Yeah, and the last point in the NHL that we got is the San Jose Sharks hire ex-Rangers head coach David Quinn as the 11th head coach in franchise history.
This guy sucks. He was good at BU. He's good. He was a good college coach. He's not a good. He's not a good NHL coach. From what I've seen so far, I don't know. You can prove me wrong, but this is a pretty shitty franchise too. So
Yeah, I was just gonna say Sharks ain't nothing special. So
I don't got much to say about this.
listen to this. Scherzer just said he hates PitchCom and it should be illegal as stealing signs is part of the game. What?
What?
How is stealing signs a part of the game?
But he's so fucking just old now. He's like starting to get mad at like computers being involved in the game.
Yeah, I don't
Speaking of,
understand that. That's a pretty stupid thing.
while we're sidetracked and keeping this thing rolling, Bubba Watson just switched over to Live.
Did he?
Yeah.
Damn.
That bag.
it's future.
Speaking of Live, did you guys hear about they're trying to get Charles Barkley and he said I'd be stupid to not take the interview?
I didn't see that, but that's smart of them.
For what?
They're looking to get Charles Barkley, not to golf. Obviously, he's fucking terrible at golfing. They want to get him for an analyst, and he said I'd be stupid to not take the interview. Obviously, he knows everyone in the world knows the kind of money they're offering up, but he's not saying he's taking it or wouldn't take it, but saying I'd be stupid to not take the interview and see the number that they're going to put on the table. Yeah,
he's right.
TNT and everyone already said if he takes a deal with Liv, he's done. Contract's done.
Well, I don't know why you would want to leave TNT at this point.
That's what I mean, dude. That show is fucking perfect. Him, Shaq, Kenny, what's his name? Ernie. They're the best. Don't change it. But let's get back into this. Let's switch over to some NFL talk. Football is officially back. 32 teams have officially reported for training camp. We said that early on. That is the headline that I need to tell me that football is back.
Not back yet.
It's back, dude. See how many headlines we got here? Football is back.
It's back.
Playing fantasy.
Not back enough.
Playing fantasy football. I'm starting to pick out my team. It's that time of year. I can smell it.
Yeah, it's like a tease right now.
I'm ready.
We're over a month away. Once we're under a month, it's close. Once we're under a month.
Yeah, once you're under a month, we're not under a month yet.
Next week. Next Monday is under a month.
All right.
I'm very excited for the NFL this year. Lots of good talk coming from us each and every week, each and every game. Don't forget to listen in each week. With that, the Arizona Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray have reached an agreement. 5-year extension, $230.5 million. The deal includes $160 million in guaranteed money. Good deal there for Kyler Murray. What do we think, boys?
I'm not the biggest Kyler Murray fan. I don't know. Mackie, what do you think?
I like it. I like him. Okay, I don't love the deal. I like Kyler Murray, but like you haven't even won a playoff game yet. Like you're giving this man $250 million.
Obviously, the big thing coming out of the deal, people are noticing the clause in the deal that he has to do 4 hours of independent study every week during the season, not including bye weeks and leading up to the season. But obviously, a lot of people saying right now, and like what I'm going to say, if you're only completing 4 hours of film study as an NFL quarterback that's making $166 million a year, you need to be doing like 10 times that. I'm not saying they're not doing all this shit on the field. Like I know what goes into that, but buddy, you're making fucking 9 digits. You need to, I don't want to hear, oh, I'm only doing 4 hours this week. I watched from, noon to 4 p.m. on Monday. I'm good until Sunday. You know, we're playing the Raiders. I don't got too much to worry about or some bullshit like that. Like, obviously, they're clearly worried. Like his contract with FaZe. Like that's what all these people are pointing out. And like whether it's, I mean, they can keep track of like who watches film. Like I wonder if it came down to something like that. They're like, hey, Kyler's not watching his shit, or like, you know, is he straight up just fucking this good at
No, you're
football?
not.
Like,
If you're worried about that, if you're worried about that, you're not offering him $250 million.
why? I mean,
But
they
like,
put the clause in there.
yeah, because people tend to fall off after you get money like this, and he hasn't proved anything yet. So maybe they're just like making sure that he needs to take it serious still.
Said if he can't prove that like whatever the, I mean, like I said, they can, you know what I mean, it's 2022, you know, when people watch it. He said if like he fails to do something throughout the week, the contract is can be completely voidable. Like obviously guaranteed money and shit comes into play there, but it's like the Cardinals kind of are like, I don't know what, like I don't know, obviously if you're Kyler, you're like fuck it, yeah, I'll do it 4 hours, like I don't give a shit. I don't know, I just think it's interesting you haven't seen this kind of, at least to this like extent, come out, I guess, or kind of get to the level of people talking about it like this in recent years with other contracts, I guess. But I don't know. I guess this is kind of similar to like, didn't Jerry Jones used to have like a fucking babysitter for, what was his name on the Cowboys? Terrell Owens.
Probably, honestly, I don't know, but probably.
I feel like there used to be a rumor that Jerry Jones had babysitters for like some of the players on the teams to make sure they wouldn't do shit. I could be totally
That
wrong
makes
on that,
sense.
but I don't know. I just feel like this Kyler thing got like way kind of like blown out of proportion with like how much people are talking about this fucking 4 hours a week of film he has to do. But like you said, I'm gonna get into the football aspect. He hasn't even won a playoff game, and you're giving this guy all this money. I know he's had his flashes, obviously the Hail Murray, the play to D Hop against the Bills. And I don't know. He's it's the second half of the season with the Cardinals every year. It's going to be how can we get through this? How can we, you know what I mean? How can we end up, you know, making a push and winning a playoff game? Obviously, like we said, now Kyler not winning a playoff game. How do we get home field? Tough division now with San Francisco. I mean, Seattle losing Russ, but you still got the Rams, defending Super Bowl champions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Cardinals. They obviously losing Chandler Jones. They still got guys like Buda Baker, but still got guys like J.J. Watt, James Conner. I mean, they lost Christian Kirk. Not saying he's much of a player. Got fucking the bag from the Jaguars. Can't blame him. But I don't know what to think about the Cardinals going into the next year.
I think they'll be all right. I think they're definitely a playoff team if they play to their potential. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna win that division.
Yeah. Do you think 3 teams make the playoffs from that division, though?
That's a good question. I don't know. San Francisco's really up in the air. I don't really know what they're gonna do. Trey Lance could be a dud, dude.
I agree.
They just said they're moving on to Trey Lance.
We
So
might as well just get into that right now. So, Jesse, you want to read off that headline?
49ers general manager John Lynch, head coach Kyle Shanahan met with quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo this morning. The three talked, and after the meeting, Shanahan told reporters, "We have moved on to Trey Lance."
yeah, so it's a new era in San Francisco, coming off a NFC Championship loss with a different quarterback. You question how this team is going to be this year. So what do you think of?
I don't know. I'm excited for Trey Lance. Obviously, the limited times that we've seen him in the NFL and the times that he's been brought in with Shanahan with the 49ers, but obviously his injury in college didn't see much of him in college. So I am excited to see what he can do. But like I said, tough division. I don't know who the 49ers play week 1, but I am excited to see him because obviously this 49ers team coming off an NFC championship appearance, defensive, you know what I mean? From the defensive side of the ball, they're still the same team basically, bringing most of the guys
They're still
back. Yeah,
studs on that side of the
they're
ball.
the same defense, so they still got studs. They're still going to be legit on the defensive side of the ball. Both
And
still
now let's play the Bears week 1.
all right. So yeah, it's going to be exciting to watch Trey Lance week 1. Might take it. Might bet on that.
He gets an easy first game matchup of his career. So
Get a little hype after week 1. I'm probably gonna bet on them week 1. Actually, that sounds like a fun game to watch and a fun game to bet. Justin Fields, Trey Lance.
Oh, I didn't even think about Justin Fields.
That is going to be a good one. Yeah, and with that, jumping over, Julio Jones signs a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I really like this.
Going down to hang out with Tom.
Obviously, yeah, the retirement tour, head down to Tampa Bay. See what we can do next year. Tampa Bay still a top Super Bowl favorite. Next year, they're the favorite to come out of the NFC. Other than the Bills, they're the second team that's favored to win the Super Bowl. I don't know their exact or latest odds. A guy like Julio going there. Now have Mike Evans, Godwin, and Julio. So Tom has the weapons, losing Gronk, but gaining a guy like Kyle Rudolph at the tight end position from the Giants. Very stable tight end throughout his career. They still have guys like Cameron Brate and obviously the running backs. He lost Ronald Jones, I believe, to the Chiefs, but still got Fournette. Rumors him coming into training camp a little overweight, but guy like playoff Lenny, come playoff time, he'll be ready to go. So I think Julio to the Bucs is a good landing spot for him. Not too much is going to be asked of him, but when he comes in, you have a veteran receiver that's been there, done that, and when his moment comes, he's going to be ready.
Yeah, this reminds me a bit of OBJ to the Rams last year,
I like
even
that
though that was a
comparison.
midseason thing.
I like that comparison.
Even though that was a yeah. But he's just gonna be that guy who he'll be a name out there, so it takes attention away from other players, and he gets that 3rd and 9 when you need the 9 yards. He'll be sitting right at the first down marker, and he'll make that catch. And he's just he'll be an important little piece to this team. He's a little add on to this team. He won't be that guy. He won't be 2017 Julio Jones, but
It's Julio
he's
Jones.
still
Like
Julio Jones.
some scrub corner isn't just tackling Julio Jones in the open field. Like
Exactly.
he's gonna get.
He may not be who he used to be, but he's still Julio Jones.
He's still not going down easy. Like he's gonna fall ahead for 4, 3-4 yards and get you that first down. Like you said, he's gonna become that first down guy. Obviously, with guys like Evans and Godwin there, he's not too much is gonna be asked of him. But like you said, not gonna need to be 2017 Julio Jones or the year that they went to the Super Bowl. Is that the year they went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was
Okay, I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure.
2017, and then
Little side note with
yeah,
Julio. You
right.
remember when he was on the Falcons? Him, Matt Ryan, and Roddy White. You remember Roddy White?
Yeah, I
He
do.
was a stud.
He's 83, right?
84.
84.
84 and 11.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're
Both
right.
had dreadlocks. They were sick. They were like the swaggiest receiving core. And Atlanta has those sick. I love Atlanta's uniforms. And obviously we'll get into the new uniforms, but they definitely have the coolest new helmets of any team, in my opinion. But we'll get into that. Yeah, Julio to the Bucs. I like it.
Yeah, it should be good for them.
Yeah, I think he's a good receiver to get down there for Tom. Some sad news, the Houston Texans announced Sunday that rookie wide receiver John Mechie will miss the 2022 regular season after being diagnosed with leukemia. Pretty sad news for the 22-year-old.
Yeah, obviously tragic news. You'd never want to see something like this.
Yeah.
Some good news out of it. It is the most curable leukemia there is, I guess. So
That's
in terms
terrific.
of like life and death, it's looking good. But for football, it just sucks for his career.
Yeah. So, whenever this came out, I remember seeing the statement that he released. He said he's in pretty good spirits. Obviously, getting that news at the age of 22 and coming into your rookie year in the NFL, you're on the fucking highest horse you could ever imagine, and then you get this news and that you're not going to be able to play in your rookie year. And it obviously sucks to get that news, but like you said, Mackie, it is. I did see it was one. It is the whatever most curable type of cancer or whatever or leukemia, but he is. I heard somewhere it's like not official that he misses the whole year, but they're basically just kind of indefinitely he's out for this season.
Yeah, the problem with this shit is that it makes you so weak for the time being. It's so hard to come back from.
Yeah, that's the thing, and obviously him coming from Alabama, he was a stud all last year for Alabama, missing the national championship, I believe, with the leg injury, but so he's missed some key time, the injuries, and then now getting this, it just sucks for him. But um, obviously, prayers to him, and obviously, I hope everything's the best. But Texans, not too much coming out of them this year, but maybe in the coming years, getting guys like him back and another year with draft picks, maybe look out for this team in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
best of luck for him. Definitely keep an eye on that. Two-time Super Bowl champion wide receiver Danny Amendola has announced his retirement from the NFL. Amendola reported that multiple teams were calling this offseason and also said it was better than I could ever imagine when reflecting on his career. So great career from him. What do you guys think?
You want to start on him?
Yeah, I mean he good career, good player. What do you get? 2 Super Bowls with Tom.
Yeah, a Tom receiver that just kind of went up to New England, found his role. He fit that system perfectly in New England.
Yeah, he was a system player. He kind of reminds me of like Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley didn't get to play with
Edelman,
Tom
all
Brady
those
for two
guys,
Super
like they're
Bowls,
all kind
but
of similar.
yeah, I will say Tom Brady kind of made his legacy what it is, made him a name. But Danny Amendola, he was a good player. He's a good role player,
Oh yeah,
good option.
and all Amendola, Edelman, all those guys. They love Tom. They know that without Tom, they weren't much.
Yeah,
But hell of a career, 2 Super Bowls. He was on a couple teams that I didn't even know about. He was an Eagle, a Cowboy, a Ram, and obviously the Patriots, Lions, Texans. I think those are the 6 teams.
yeah. I knew he was in the Cowboys. I didn't know any of the other teams though.
Yeah, let's get into some of this Tyreek Hill talk. He was on First Take. Let's hear what he had to say, Jess.
Yeah, the Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill said Zach Wilson is a dog, but I'd rather play with the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. As you said, how fun ESPN's First Take on Monday
Why isn't
morning.
he, why isn't he even talking about Zach Wilson? I don't get
They
it.
were asking him, I guess, I forget where they said he had the chance. They said he had the chance to go to the Jets, and they said something about, he said like, oh, Zach Wilson's a dog, but I'd rather play with the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. And they asked him a follow up question, and he said, and I quote, I wrote this down. Tua is not your typical gunslinger, but if you really pay attention to his game, you will notice everything is spot on, everything is pinpoint. Ball is on time, his fundamentals are on point. High praise from Tyreek Hill, obviously, the newest addition for the Miami Dolphins, coming in there, training with Tua all off season. Has high hopes for his new quarterback. He's been comparing him to Mahomes way too much, if you ask me.
I really think reality's gonna hit him once the season actually
Yeah.
starts.
Have you heard how much he's comparing him to Mahomes?
Yeah, he just keeps talking about it.
Like Mahomes.
And like, dude, like you had the life with Mahomes. Like, stop acting like he wasn't anything special. Like, reality's gonna hit you with an average quarterback like Tua, and a below average quarterback like Tua. And when you're not gonna get all the yards, the catches that you're used to getting, he's not gonna keep the same energy all season.
When a guy like Travis Kelce isn't out there running around too, that you have to worry about him.
Yeah, you got 3 guys chasing you around because you don't have 3 other receivers that are heavy threats.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like how much he keeps comparing Tua to Mahomes. That's the
It's kind of
Yeah, I
disrespectful.
mean, that's what I mean. That's the thing that like keeps rubbing me the wrong way. I'm like, dude, stop bringing Mahomes into this.
Like, there's a difference between like supporting your quarterback that you have now, rather than like comparing him to your old one.
Like, dude,
You don't have to bring him
like
into it at all.
I know you got traded there, so you're trying to act like I love where they traded me, like I'm here. You know what I mean? Like I love my new team. Like obviously, like you said, there's a difference between hyping up your quarterback and being like way over the top. Like, dude, Mahomes carried you to a Super Bowl. Like I know you were a key part of that team. Without Mahomes, that team doesn't get out of the first round when they were down 24-0 to the fucking Texans or the Browns, whoever it was. Texans.
24-3.
24-3 to Sean Watson and the Texans. Texans didn't score a point the rest of the game.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch. Tyreek Hill down in Miami.
And
Getting balls thrown over his head.
I think he's gonna be good, but I also have a different perspective on Tua. I think he could take a step this year just to become a guy that we're sitting here talking about. Like right now, I know it sounds like you said below average, so I don't know with a guy like Tyreek, is he able to take that next step? I know I'm not necessarily asking you, if you want to step in and tell me what you think, but he has Gesicki, Devontae Parker, I think is still there. No, he might be a Patriot now. But I don't know. Miami, I feel like they've made some additions over the past couple of years with some draft picks, and obviously the guys they have on the defensive side of the ball is Xavier Howard, and they have a couple other guys that I'm forgetting, but Christian Wilkins, the guy from Clemson they drafted a couple years ago. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you see Tua taking the next step with a guy like Tyreek Hill?
I just don't see how they get a playoff spot.
The Jets,
if you
are
think
the
about
Jets
it,
or Dolphins going to finish with a higher record?
The Dolphins will definitely be the second best team in that division this year, I think. I think the Patriots fall off this year. I don't think they make the playoffs.
I said the same thing. I think Mac Jones has a second year of sophomore slump.
Yeah, I think Miami will come in second in that division, but I don't think they make the playoffs. I think three teams out of the AFC. What do you guys, the North?
East.
I think three. You're not the North.
No,
You're not the East.
They're
You're
the
North.
East. I thought you were saying, what are you
No,
guys? I know what you're saying. Keep going. They're the East.
I think three teams out of the AFC North make the playoffs.
Okay. Oh, I see what you were saying. So you're saying basically everyone but the Steelers. The North make it.
Kind of. If the Browns come out like they should.
Yeah. I'm not taking that like a fucking Steelers shot. I'm just truly trying to understand what you're saying. But yeah, you think you have Ravens?
No, yeah, I think three teams. Yeah, because then there's no spot. There's no spot for the Dolphins there.
Yeah. Colts, Titans.
Yeah, see, both of them can make it too. I just don't see a way that Miami slips into a playoff spot.
Might be something I want to get into with the if we have a little bit of time. Some of these teams' odds and make the playoffs.
All right, let's keep rolling in the NFL. The Los Angeles Chargers have hired former WVU star quarterback and Miami Dolphin Pat White to join the team as an offensive assistant. Huff being a grad from WVU, and Mackey finishing up there shortly. What do we think, Mackey? You want to start us off?
Mackey, do you remember Pat White?
Yeah, he was a stud at West Virginia.
He was. He is what made me want to go to West Virginia.
Yeah, he was an absolute beast at West Virginia. He didn't really have the best NFL career.
Yeah, obviously he was with the Dolphins for a couple of years and just never really kind of found his footing in the NFL. But I love seeing him and Geno Smith kind of just keep making their way back in the league.
Yeah.
Geno's going to be a starter.
Keeping their names.
Geno's arguably a starter for the Seahawks next year.
I don't know.
Dude, if Drew Lock comes in and throws 3 picks, what is stopping you from being like, fucking put Geno in?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What's Drew Lock done? Wrapped on the sidelines?
Wrapped on the sidelines.
That video where he just sits there. I forget the song.
Yeah, it's the first thing I think of every time.
Exactly. That's all I think of when I see him. I don't even know the song he's singing, but he just sings the whole song on the sideline. And everyone's like, all right, is this dude gonna maybe not throw a pick next time?
5 and off 3 interceptions.
Yeah, all right, dude. Maybe some film. Maybe take the maybe we gotta give Drew Lock the Kyler clause. He's gonna watch 4 hours of film every week, or we get his paycheck. We're gonna find a way to get that going. We went over this 49ers news, so I'll get into this. Arguably the top linebacker in the NFL coming out with a little bit of a statement. Colts linebacker Darius Leonard told reporters Tuesday that he now wants to be called Shaquille, is what his family calls him. From here on out, he is now Colts linebacker Shaquille Leonard.
What is that like his government name?
He's getting it. I don't know if he's getting it officially changed, but I think that's what he wants on Madden and like ESPN to use and like the Colts to use on the roster. You know what I mean? Like,
Very strange. I don't know why you don't just stick with
yeah,
Darius.
that's what
It's
I
already
mean, dude. You're the
going.
best linebacker in the NFL. You're going to change your name.
Yeah, like, nobody knows Shaquille
I
Leonard.
was going to be like, who the fuck's that? So I had to put this in there because if I would have read that and been like, who the fuck is that? I had to make sure like we remind ourselves that he decided to change his name.
Welcome to the league, Shaquille.
Welcome to the league, Shaquille Leonard, linebacker, Colts.
I think his stats have to restart.
Look, he's a new player.
Those are Darius Leonard's
Yeah.
stats. You need to start.
Like, hey, sorry, I don't know who Shaquille Leonard is, but Darius Leonard has these stats. You also have to switch your number.
Yes, he definitely does. I think that's only fair. Next up, we got Mitch Trubisky has the 6th best record by any starting quarterback since 2018 with a minimum of 20 starts. He is 20-13, sitting behind Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers.
Weird stat.
Win percentage.
Correct.
He clearly has like the least amount here besides Drew Brees, who's been retired for 2 years.
That is, I was like, what? And then I had to look at this graphic, and I was like, okay. I'm looking at the records, and I'm like, wait, there's definitely dudes with better records than that. I think at least maybe, like maybe not, but
I mean, he has more games than Drew Brees.
yeah. Trubisky's
No, they literally have the same.
Trubisky's got that dog in him. I like that.
Yes, Mackie, you're right. I can't do ads.
But yeah, I mean, good for him. I don't know how much this says about his game, but
It doesn't say much, but it doesn't say anything about his game.
No, it doesn't. I just found it interesting. That's all.
Into some uniform talk as we look ahead to the NFL season.
Yes.
This is basically what we have left. A lot of these teams announcing the past couple of weeks. We've had 13 NFL teams in total unveil their secondary helmet for the 2022 season. 9 teams announcing a new alternate helmet, and some of which we've already gone over, including the likes of the Bengals and Panthers in the past couple of weeks. And then we had 4 teams unveil their new helmets, but these teams brought back more of a classic throwback look. I believe they're calling it the alternate helmets, or no, it's throwback, and alternate is the new one. So some of the teams with the new ones that we haven't gone over. The Cardinals bringing out these black helmets. I saw an up close shot. They have like the red shine on them. They're pretty fresh. So Kyler gets the new deal, gets some new helmets, new look. I don't know. I think Cardinals coming off the white helmet. It's going to be a little interesting to see them because they get those black jerseys. I think the mock-up is to wear them with the black jerseys, and it ended up looking pretty fucking sick. I don't know if anyone saw that, but I just ended up putting this image in here with the helmet.
those Bengals helmets are dirty.
Bengals are the
I like the Commanders too. I actually do kind of like the Commanders. Texans is
yeah,
nice.
the Commanders coming with a black one, so I'll just kind of rip through them. So obviously, some of these teams coming out with new helmets. Like I said, we've gone over the Bengals with their white helmet, and what was the other one that I said? The Panthers with their black helmet. So some of these other teams coming out with new ones. The Cardinals coming out with a black helmet they're going to be wearing with their black jerseys. A black helmet with some red speckles in it. I think they actually look pretty fresh. Saw an up close look of them. Couple with the flash on them where you can kind of see the shine a little better. But teams like Washington Commanders bringing out a black helmet with the new logo on the front. That'll be interesting. Obviously, they don't even have a. I mean, it's the Washington football team W, so I guess that's like the look they're going for. But Cowboys coming with a white one. I think that's also going to be considered one of the throwback ones. I see that in both images, which kind of threw me off. But Eagles going with a black helmet. That's going to look fucking sick. I think they also another team with their black jerseys. I like those Eagles black ones a lot.
That wing is sweet.
Yeah, I think those are going to look fresh, especially when the Eagles again wear the black jerseys. Or they're bringing back the Kelly Green ones this year. I thought they would do the Kelly Green helmets.
That's the picture I see. I see a picture of football players wearing the Kelly Green one, but the picture of the helmet it looks to be black.
Okay, maybe that is the helmet that from that uniform, and I'm just thrown off. But
It says the Philadelphia Eagles are debuting a black helmet to go with their black jerseys.
okay, black jerseys. Love their black jerseys.
Kelly Green uniforms as their alternate in 2023.
Oh, 2023. It's not this
So
year.
what helmet are they going to use?
Well, they're probably going to change it from this black one.
Fair. That makes sense.
The Jets also coming out with a black helmet with the green font on the side. The Jets kind of a newer look. Obviously, the Jets uniforms are kind of like new age. Not too huge on these Jets helmets. It'll be interesting. It'll be maybe a better look when you see them on the field. The Saints bringing out a black helmet. A lot of teams doing black helmets. As you see a lot of these teams with like a white, or the Saints, in the Saints' sake, they have the gold helmet, switching over to black. And then another one that I actually really like is the Texans, going from a solid blue helmet with the logo on the side to a red helmet with the logo on the side. I think that's going to look sick, because they have the red jerseys, go for that all red, white, and blue look, but the mainly red, I think that's going to look really good. I'm excited to see the Texans don those jerseys. Some of these throwback ones, though, actually, there was one team, I believe I skipped the Bears. Bears coming out with these orange fucking uniforms. They look terrible, in my opinion. I like the color orange, but these fucking uniforms are brutal. Jesse, you see this image I put down here?
Yeah, those are brutal.
Helmet is just so like, it looks like a basketball, and like I don't know why, but like
yeah, it does.
I don't know why, but the Browns helmets don't look that bad, but I guess it's because they don't wear orange jerseys with them.
I think you're right. I
Like
really
the
do.
Browns wear a solid orange helmet, and the Browns actually tweeted back at them and was like, "Oh, I wonder where you got your idea from." It's like, that's not really that funny. I mean, like
It's not.
it's
but
like just
whatever.
fucking
Like,
stupid. Yeah, it's just fucking stupid. But like these uniforms are trash. The jersey or the helmet's trash. The jerseys looked cool last year with the blue helmet, so probably should have just went with a orange helmet with a blue jersey, maybe white. I really don't know. But that's definitely the one that's the dud of the group. Is the Bears orange helmet with the orange jerseys, but the four teams coming out with the throwback helmets, like I already said, the Cowboys doing the white helmet, bringing that look back. The New York Giants are going for the 1980s. I believe they're calling them the legacy uniforms, bringing back the old school New York Giant kind of royal blue, red, white, and blue look with the darker helmet with the font Giants on the side. So these are another one that I think are really fresh. The page.
I was just gonna say that they're simple and to the point, and I like them a lot.
The new Giants helmets are sick. It's going to be a shame to see them lose 35-7 in those uniforms, but I believe they already announced they're playing the Commanders and the Bears in the two games that they're wearing those uniforms. So obviously, two games that they think they can win.
They need those wins bad, man.
They're planning those wins out. They're like, all right, we're going to wear the cool jerseys against the Commanders. I think that's a win. And the Bears, that's a win. So yeah, we're gonna wear the legacy jerseys those games. That's gonna be good. And then the Patriots bringing back the white Pat the Patriot helmet. Obviously, when this helmet thing came out, certain teams were just kind of expected to come back with helmets like this, and the Patriots were definitely number one with that. So it is official.
I like that stripe on there a lot.
Yeah, they're going back to the classic white helmet. Those are fresh. And then my favorite of the group is the Atlanta Falcons, going with the old school red helmet with the old school Falcon logo. These are definitely my favorite ones. I'm really excited to see Atlanta in these jerseys.
Yeah, I'm excited for those. I like the stripe a lot on that one. And yeah, going with the throwback, you can never go wrong. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Excited to see all these in action, especially on TV. Like, I think they're going to look real bright and nice. You know, they're going to make sure they look good, in my opinion.
Exactly. It's obviously a lot different seeing them on Instagram than seeing them in real life or on TV, like you said, on Red Zone, or if you're just watching a game. But yeah, I mean, maybe these Bears ones won't look that bad, but I think they're going to look pretty fucking bad.
They're going to look weird. I mean, it's that all that orange together is just too much orange.
That's brutal. I don't know. And he's got the orange gloves on. You can barely see the football.
Oh, that's brutal. You're right.
But obviously, that's going to kind of wrap up the little bit of uniform. I believe that's kind of going to do it for the teams coming out with the uniforms. I don't know if there's going to be any other teams coming out with any we get closer to the season, but like I said, 13 of the 32 teams have announced a new helmet or secondary helmet, I guess you would say. But yeah, we're gonna get kind of move on into these Madden ratings. Madden's been kind of coming out with some of their overall player ratings the past couple weeks, week in and week out at different positions. And this past week, they announced the top 10 quarterbacks based on overall rating. We'll go over the top 10 quarterbacks in the game and also the top 10 rookie quarterbacks in the game. I'm going to get right into it. Go 10-1, top 10 quarterbacks based on overall rating. Number 10, we got Matt Stafford of the LA Rams coming off a Super Bowl championship, sitting at an 85 overall. Number 9, Lamar Jackson at an 87 overall. Number 8, Russell Wilson, 87 overall, tied with Lamar. Number 7, just ahead of them, is Justin Herbert at an 88. Number 6, Dak Prescott, sitting at an 89 overall. Number 5, coming off a Super Bowl appearance, Joe Burrow, sitting at a 90 overall. Number 4, Josh Allen, sitting at a 92 overall. Number 3, Patrick Mahomes, sitting at a 95 overall. Number 2, the back-to-back MVP of the NFL, Aaron Rodgers, sitting at a 96. And number 1, the GOAT, Tom Brady, sitting at a 97 overall. Yeah, so that's going to do it for your top 10 quarterbacks. But I'll get into kind of my breakdown of this. My little
I don't hate these rankings.
don't.
No, not really. I don't. I would switch Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
I would switch. I was going to say I'd switch.
Um,
Rodgers 1, 97, Brady 2, tied with Mahomes. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. And then Allen. I'd like to see Josh Allen at like 93. And
yeah, and it may be a high overall, but I think he should still be
yeah,
fourth.
and I'd like to see my boy Russ ahead of Herbert. I'd like to see him like tied with Dak.
I don't know why they're so high on Herbert. He hasn't even been to the playoffs
Yeah,
yet.
I'd like to see Russ.
You lost to the Raiders in a winner go to the playoffs game, or go to the playoffs or go home game.
Yeah, in overtime.
I mean, you got to win that game against the Raiders, dude.
I'd like to see Russ tied with Dak at an 89 too. And
Yeah,
Lamar. What the
yeah.
fuck is this disrespect Lamar keeps getting, dude?
I don't know, man. Yeah, I think Herbert should be 10, I
You
think.
could argue all these guys overall could go up 1. Stafford an
Yeah.
85. I think he's like an 86. Lamar Jackson at least an 88.
I think Herbert should be like an 86.
Yeah, Herbert's the only one. Herbert's the only
Stafford,
one that I think needs nerfed a little bit to an 87.
yeah.
Herbert shouldn't be 10, but I think Herbert above Stafford. Herbert should be 9.
Okay.
Move
Okay.
up Lamar
I
and
can see
Russ.
that.
Slide Herbert.
I mean, Stafford's coming off a Super Bowl, so I feel like he should get the high overall then.
Yeah. I do think Stafford should be an 86, and that's still above Herbert if I say he should be an 87. So that's still below. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I do. There's not too much to do on the left side. I do like the 1 through 5. You can said he's the GOAT. Give him number 1. It's a 1 overall difference. Back to back MVP. I think if anything, you give him the same, but they would never do that for the sake of conversation
Yeah,
and
of course
comparison.
not.
So Tom gets the edge on the overall rating, but we'll get into the top 5 rookie QB overalls. I'll go 5-1, I guess. So number 5, we got Sam Howell at 67 overall. Matt Corral, 68 overall, the Carolina Panthers. Kenny Pickett, a 68 overall of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Malik Willis, a 69 overall of the Tennessee Titans. And the top-rated rookie quarterback coming into Madden 2023 is going to be the Atlanta Falcons' newest draft pick, Desmond Ridder, sitting at a 70 overall. Obviously, these ones, there's not too much to argue. I don't have too much to say about any guy that hasn't taken a snap
Yeah,
in
what
the
are you
NFL. It's so hard to put a number next to these guys. And obviously, like guys like Malik Willis isn't going to see the field. Pickett may not see the field if Trubisky starts out hot. Like, Corral with the addition of Baker Mayfield. What's his, you know what I mean? What's his future in Carolina going to look like if Baker comes in there and maybe takes that team to the playoffs? So it's so hard to put a number next to these guys. I think Ritter is the only one that really has a shot to make a mark on his franchise. I mean, I hate to say Pickett. I mean, if Trubisky fails, I think Ritter and Pickett have the best chance to be immediate starters in the NFL. But yeah, I'm not going to argue with any of these overalls or rankings. Or I'm interested to see Ritter at the top. I think it's just because of what I said. I think he has the most chance.
Yeah,
And overall
exactly.
size, like he is.
All these other guys are just sitting.
He's like the biggest athlete out of all these dudes. He's just a stud. Like, I think, yeah, give him the extra 2. That's fine. But he's on Atlanta, so just remember that. I chirp the Atlanta Falcons a lot, and I really like them, but they've just fucked me over on so many bets.
No, yeah, they're on the no bet list.
Yeah. Sure.
They are indeed on the no bet list. Alrighty, and one last thing before we wrap up. I got the NFL best-selling jerseys of 2022 so far this year. I don't have numbers, but I have who the leaders are. Coming in at number 10, we have Joe Burrow with the Cincinnati Bengals. 9, Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs. 8, Justin Herbert with the Chargers. 7, Cooper Kupp with the Rams. 6, Mac Jones with the Patriots. 5, Tom Brady with the Bucks. 4, Kenny Pickett with the Steelers. 3, Devontae Adams with the Raiders. 2, Josh Allen with the Bills. And coming in at number 1, Mr. Russell Wilson with the Denver Broncos. So I think it's a pretty interesting list. I like seeing Kenny Pickett up there at number 4. You know, the new guy coming in and just selling a ton of jerseys. I like that. And I don't think Russ is a surprise jumping over to Denver there. It's a sweet jersey. Huff, I know you want to get one if you didn't already.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how 3 of the top 4 top-selling jerseys are new names and new teams.
I feel like that happened.
Obviously, Josh Allen's still in Buffalo, but yeah, I mean, obviously it makes sense.
Last year, I
but
think
it's
Stafford
interesting.
Rams was one of the top ones. Last year, I know TJ Watt was up there, and I know Stafford at the Rams was up there for top seller last year.
Kenny Pickett in top 5 is actually ridiculous. I didn't expect that.
That's Steeler Nation, dude.
It is.
When
Steeler
Huff and I went to
faithful.
the draft day thing or whatever we did at Heinz Field, they sold out before we even got in the door.
Crazy. He's got the support.
Pretty interesting. It's cool to see.
I definitely got to get a Russ. Denver. I have high hopes for him in Denver.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see Russ in Denver. I'm excited for this NFL season. Can't come soon enough. You guys got anything else?
So close. We are almost there. Stick with us. Again, talking about uniforms, Madden ratings, some NFL or some other little NFL news, NBA and NHL, but we're very close. A couple more episodes, and then we're going to be coming up on the NFL season. And not much else coming from me. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned to all the social medias for as we keep giving out a couple MLB picks here and there whenever we find a play that we like. Other than that, that's it. Gonna do it for me. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Another week in the books. Just squeaking by to get to the NFL season, NHL season, NBA, college football, all that fun stuff. So, a few more weeks.
All right, that's going to do it. Episode 44 is now in the books for Hit the Books. Thanks for joining us. Good week. And that's going to do it for us this week on Hit the Books podcast. Thank you for all the support week in and week out. Please be sure to share and check out our various social media platforms and check out our website. All the info is located in our link tree in the description below. And always remember to hit the books.
Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.